Hi everyone, my name is Elena and you're watching the second part of a Marvelous Designer tutorial, but this part is going to be in Blender. So let's see how we can do it. First of all, your fabrics are really important because based on your fabrics, we can texture in Blender. So for example, if I want these parts to be, I don't know, black leather fabric, I should assign all of them to this specific fabric. So first in Marvelous Designer, I click here on fabric. Then when I recognize one of them, I click on it and select all with the same property, fabric. Okay, here on File, Export, OBJ, just selected, let's see. Okay, just the selected one, and I'm going to call it main fabric. Save. One thing about Blender is that Blender is in meters. You can also change the unit in Blender, and I'll tell you later how to do it. So let's save it. Okay. I do the same process with other fabrics, except this shoulder pad and invisible because we're not going to see them. Before continuing, I just like to show how it works in Blender. So as soon as you open Blender, you see this scene. So select on A and then delete. Here on Files, Import, OBJ. Okay, first I had this main fabric. The scale is 1 and let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay, just to teach you how you can change the unit. Here on Scene and Units length, you can set it as centimeters, but right now, since in Marvelous Designer I just export fabrics in meter, I'm okay with it. So let's import the other fabric. Import OBJ. Okay, now the one of the things that I was about to tell you is that I export this as object. I write it okay, avatar. Okay, don't consider my accent. Okay, avatar. I just need my avatar, so I just select all avatars. So the important thing that I was going to mention is that I didn't check this on unified UV coordinates because I don't have any particular pattern, and I didn't. Okay, look, I have something here. That's why I didn't need it, and I didn't organize my UV. That's why I uncheck it. If not, it was going to be a mess. So that's why. So now I need my avatar, so I just select my avatar, and okay, it's going to take time. No, it didn't take time. Let's see. Import obj avatar. Okay, so right now we don't need Marvel's Designer anymore, and we can also close it. So the thing that I should talk about here in Blender in Blender is that this is your workspace, your 3D workspace, 3D viewport, 3D viewpoint. This is your 3D viewport, and here you have workspaces that most of the time, at least in this tutorial, we are just going to need these to lay out. That this is the 3D viewpoint. Then modeling is for editing. If you pay attention, no, not right now. Don't pay attention. Sculpting, you have I don't know, for animation, rendering, you have so many workspaces. You can also have this scripting workspace. Right now we are in the layout. The most important thing is this part and this part. Here you have tools for transformation, like moving tool and rotation. Here you have some modifiers. These two parts are the most important part of the Blender. Yes, every workspace, it has its particular tools. In sculpting we have these tools, but in modeling we don't have them. But instead in modeling we have some other tools that they are not in the layout. Also here you can see that we have some changes. So the next thing that I should tell you here, okay, I'm not going to talk about these things right now. Here, if you have already worked in 3D Max or other softwares, you know that for selecting more in an easier way, you always have a list of objects that you have in your scene. So here you can check, uncheck. I want it to be hidden in 3D viewpoint or in the render, and yes, like this. In Blender, one of the most important things that will help you a lot is shortcuts, because you should memorize. It's like another language that you should memorize so many shortcuts. Also the add-ons are important. Now I will talk about them. So let's see, for texturing, what do we need? Just another thing between layout and modeling is that, for example, always you should select your object. You select your object. This is the most confusing part, because when you're starting to learn Blender, maybe you are in the modeling and you didn't select already in the layout. When you're in the layout, then everything you are going to do doesn't happen. Because, for example, if I select my avatar, now I go to the modeling. If you see, I cannot select my outfit, my garment. I can just select my avatar. So this is one thing that is really important, because you sometimes you may say, why I cannot edit that particular object that I need to modify. It's because of that you didn't select it. How to control your scene. Scroll up and down, you can zoom in and out. If you hold shift and hold your scroll, you can pan. And for rotating, you just hold the scroll and go to the left and right. Okay. For having more windows, I don't know, I call them windows. You can just go to this part in this line. So, yes. Then drag it to the left, drag it to the right. And if you don't want it, you can right click on it and join access. Yes, and select the one that you don't want it. Okay, so before doing anything, I should tell you that we need camera and light, and most of the time we need a background, but right now I don't want it. So for bringing any kind of object in the scene, you need to hold shift and A. Okay, now I need a camera. Look at my camera. Okay, I press on G to move it. If you pay attention to this green line, it's my Y line. And if I wanted to move it in the... So I press on Y. Now I select it. Okay, I select my camera, it's orange. I press on G and then I press on X, because I'm going to move it in this red line, threshold of this red line. So I press on G. If I was going to take it in the toward up, I could press on G and then Z. This just makes your work cleaner. If not, I could press on G and move it wherever I like to move. So I press on Y. If you press on 0, you can see the world from this from your camera. And if here on view, you click this lock the camera, now everything I do here, do you see it? It moves the camera too. So here I change the resolution of the camera. And let me view, let me zoom, and now okay, let me see, for example, yes, now I need a light. In this project, I'm going to use HDRI light. You select on this world, new, in the color part, you click on this yellow point, then environment texture, and then open. I'm going to use this blue photo studio. Okay, if I press on Z and select rendered, okay, you see that this is my HDRI. This is a 360-degree photo that includes a light. Okay, if I'm going to change the light, here you can shift between workspaces. In the texture, no, in the shader editor, here on object, I choose the world because the HDRI is our world. I click on this and Ctrl T. It gives me another mapping that with a rotation in the Z direction, I can change the light direction. I'm not going to go in profound for the light, but let's say I like this one, this direction. Okay, another thing is that I'm going to say just region, and here the render engine, I want it to be cycles. Also, I'm going to make these changes. Yeah. Transparent is here. Okay, I press on 0. So since here I checked render region, it just renders this region, and in the film here in render, then film, and then transparent, I just made disappear my HDRI. Now the only thing that I see is my avatar. Here I select object. Since I didn't select anything, you see nothing in the shader editor. I'm sorry. Okay, now I select my main fabric. Since I put name on them, now I can recognize them more easily. So here I click on my BSDF node. Before that, I should tell you that you should go onto Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and here write Rank. And you have this node wrangler. You should check it. Okay, when you check it, you can select PBR textures more easily. What is a PBR texture? PBR texture is a file that it includes all you need to realize a particular fabric. So, for example, here I have this PBR for this kind of leather. Okay, I have normal map, I have roughness. So this is a PBR file. When you check that node wrangler, it lets you to do this thing. Ctrl Shift and T on keyboard, and then select all you have in your PBR file and select them, and like this. Okay, now for this part I need exactly the same material. So now I select my main fabric. I delete everything that it has. I add new. Okay, I'm going to choose the same thing that I had here. So copy. Now the only thing that I should do is to add it to the surface. If I'm going to change the color, press on F3, and write brightness. Usually it's the first thing that you have. Without clicking, I click on this line, and now I can change the brightness. No, I want it to be too much. Something like this. The same thing for here. Ctrl V. Okay, there are so many other details that I should have told you, but I'm not going to take too much time for this tutorial. Okay, the same thing. Do you have buttons here? No. Let me import them. The same thing for the buttons. Delete. We. Okay. Okay, the last thing to learn here is for having a neon. Also, we have this part. Yeah, because we have two kind of blue fabric. No. Okay. Let me see. Here, for the roughness, I can, because I want it to be shiny, I can work on my roughness. Let me see. I'm sorry, it doesn't change anything. Let me see if I can do something. No. Okay, let's leave it like that because it's not changing, or at least in the render what we see is not changed at all. Okay. Okay, now let's, I like to change these. Material. Do we have darker than black? Okay, the last thing that we're going to make is about these neons. How we are going to make them. Let's add a new fabric. Okay, here let me tell you a little bit. Here we have base color. You can change the color here. For example, I want this color. You have subsurfaces, is about how much light can enter into your fabric. Here we have metallic and metallic. The important thing here is about roughness, that you can change the roughness. Here it's about how it's being shiny and be like metal even. And then sheen is about how to reflect light. And the thing that we need right now is this one. is about emission. To be able to see it, render. Now we can see it. This works kind of like light. We can decrease and increase the strength. Now, I think I told you the basic things that I was about to tell you. The last thing is to render. If you saw, I set my render engine cycles. I wrote cycles as my render engine. And then here sampling, I chose right now because it's just for sampling 124, but you should increase that. Check on the noise, and if you don't want your HDRI to be shown transparent in this in the film, then yes, here is just your camera, the output. And yes, so let's render here on render image, and then you should wait. And after that, in image, save, and it's finished. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye.